here's something to think about as you celebrate Earth Day. Well, first, those AirPods that you keep losing, they're filled with toxic minerals and chemicals and are too small to be scrapped for parts. That new iPhone that you're eyeing, your old one is contributing to the 420 million metric tons of electronic waste generated worldwide over the last 8 years. Refurbished electronics, that seller back market that you know of, says it has part of the solution with a renewed focus on recycling, but is a cheaper price. Is it enough to sway consumers away from the latest and greatest here? Here with more, we've got Thibaud de Larauze, who is the Back Market co-founder and CEO. Thibaud, great to have you here with us today. First and foremost, just for the people that are trying to contribute more or be part of the circular economy, what's the first thing that they need to do? What's the first step that they can take?
Well, the first thing when most of the people are used to buy linear economy and buying new stuff all the time. That's the way we've been educated for most of us in Western countries, at least. So the first thing that you have to think about is, do I have an opportunity to do something else and to embrace a trustworthy platform to consume circular economy? So that applies for tech, but also for fashion and also for other industries. But those are the biggest ones that contribute the most to climate change. So this is the first reflex. Like, is there a place where I'm safe not consuming a new product? And then you can find on your way Back Market, obviously, but you can find other platforms to consume fashion. Circular economy is getting scaled in most of the Western countries, and we are accelerating fast in order to provide the accessibility to most of the people there.
Do you get upset with Apple? We watch Apple. They come out here every 4 times a year and report their earnings, make big profits, but they don't seem to care about any of this.
Well, I hope they will at some point. I mean, like, we all live in the same planet. We have to get to net zero CO2 emission by 2050, else the planet is warming up. And so if you do have kids, it doesn't matter if you work for a Back Market or for Apple, you want them to live longer on this planet and be able to, to live happy at some point. So getting to net zero is not an option. It's something that we need to do as a species if we want to live happily and to survive. So I think short-term, Apple is happy with these financial results because it's growing, the stock is going right, but ultimately, sustainability is not an option anymore. And so we're trying to demonstrate that with Back Market, and we are growing at high double digits everywhere now. So I think at some point, circular economy will be, a topic that's going to be, on top of the pile for Apple and for other manufacturers. The sooner, the better, obviously, but we're trying to grow as much as possible to get their attention in order to have them switch, basically, because they will go anywhere the customer will go.
If we were to see a major shift in the consumer spending patterns, how would and especially leading into a telegraphed yet, according to some economists, perhaps unpunctual recession, how might that actually support the circular economy even more? Where have you seen the propensity for consumers to lean into buying refurbished goods in those instances where they are saying, you know what, I'm being more scrutinous about my discretionary spending?
Yeah, well, so that's the main driver, to be honest. I mean, people are thinking about sustainability. They like to do the things in a good way, but what's driving the number one driver when it comes to purchase is purchasing power, is how much I'm going to save by purchasing a refurbished product rather than a new one. And the higher the gap is between new and refurbished, the most interesting the refurbished option gets to people. So the more inflation and price point of new product is going up, along with the increase of raw materials. This is just the way it's been for the past decade, right? So the most it get people interest to consider alternative. So the price difference is the main driver that is actually deviating the most of the people from not buying new anymore to solutions like Back Market or others who are actually offering circular economy. That's number one.
How large a problem are the large number of batteries going in electric vehicles? Those only seem to be coming hot and heavy as we look out over the next decade. Do you have a solution for that? And how concerned are you about the risk to our planet from them?
So I think switching the automobile and the car industry to a more electric industry is a good thing for the planet because it consumes and it emits less CO2 emission in the end to manufacture and to use them, less fossil energies basically to use the vehicles. So that's a good thing. Now we have to keep investing more and more in the innovation to recycle properly those batteries because it's lithium batteries. And I'm actually very optimistic on that front because we're seeing a lot of industry getting better and better in recycling those batteries. And in Europe and in the US, and now there is the Inflation Reduction Act in the US that is going to boost that big time over the next few years. Just remember, it's $370 billion that are going to be injected there. So I'm quite optimistic that we'll find the way to reuse them appropriately and get very low CO2 emission out of those.
All right. One of the more sustainable unicorn companies that is out there, Back Market co-founder and CEO Thibaud de Larauze. Thank you so much for joining us here today and a pleasure to see you again.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Bye.